Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 597. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys, Marvel Legends series, Black Panther line, Okoye Build-A-Figure collection, Submariner action figure. With incredible strength and swimming speed, the Submariner is a powerful force on land and on sea. With the Black Panther Legends series, fans can start a legendary collection of comic and movie-based Marvel characters. This 6-inch Submariner figure is highly articulated and features a comic-inspired design, making it another worthy addition to your Marvel Legends series. This 1/12 scale action figure of Namor also includes 2 Okoye Build-A-Figure wave pieces. Collect the series to create your own Okoye action figure. Other accessories include an extra pair of interchangeable hands, 2 hand-painted head sculpts, and his trident. This 1/12 scale Submariner is in the comic-inspired design, and the accessories are comic-inspired just as well. This Legend Series figure features a premium articulation for advanced posing and displaying, and has intricate detailing and deco for a great addition to any collector's display. Comes in a collector's friendly window display box and was released by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 1, issue number 215, with a cover date of April 1981. This picks up from episode 593, and the link to that episode is in the description below. It's also available in my Comic and Collectible playlist. With story by Dennis O'Neil, art by John Romita Jr., and cover by John Romita Jr. This story is titled, By My Powers Shall I Be Vanquished. This story picks up from the previous episode, where having weaponized his tracer device, the Wizard has blasted both Spider-Man and the Submariner. The two heroes writhe in pain, while the Frightful Four and their newest member, Lyra, gloat over their victory. The Trapster and Sandman then decide to lay a few punches on the heroes for good measure. Spider-Man and the Submariner try to fight back, but they're too disoriented to put up any real resistance. Across the street, the authorities have arrived at the hotel where the battle first started. Seeing the fight on the rooftop across the way, one of the officers calls in a patrol helicopter to provide backup. When the choppers arrive, it distracts the Frightful Four long enough for Spider-Man to shoot webbing into the faces of Sandman and the Trapster. With the authorities closing in, the Frightful Four make their escape. With the battle over, the Submariner decides to take his leave. As he flies back towards the ocean, he is disturbed by a strange buzzing sensation in his head. It gets worse as soon as he dives into the ocean. Meanwhile, Spider-Man climbs back into his hotel room and changes back into Peter Parker. When he goes to check on his neighbor, he finds work crews repairing damage caused by the Submariner, but no sign of the mysterious and attractive woman. Still disoriented from his battle, Peter decides to seek out Deborah Whitman for help. When he arrives at her apartment, he passes out in her arms, exhausted from his ordeals. Deborah brings him inside and tends to his injuries, telling Peter that he can stay as long as he likes. When Peter wakes up, hours later, he finds that Deborah has made him breakfast and wants to make plans to see a Broadway show. However, still worried about his neighbor, Peter rushes out on her, saying he will call her later, in a few days. Peter rushes to a nearby payphone to try and call the hotel and find out about this woman, to see if she's okay, when he realizes that he doesn't even know her name. He quickly calls a cab to bring him back to the hotel, fearing she might be in trouble. Peter goes to his own room to change into Spider-Man and to check on her. What Peter is unaware of is that this woman is actually Lyra in disguise, and she and the Frightful Four are now waiting in the hotel room, organizing their next move. At that same moment, in Atlantis, the Submariner finally returns home and has Vashti examine him to learn the cause of the buzzing in his head. Vashti discovers an irregularity in the scans of Namor's brain, but isn't sure what the problem is. Before he can, mention of Lyra's name reminds the Undersea Monarch of how she was responsible for the death of his beloved Lady Dorma. Put into a fresh rage, the Submariner swims off to hunt down his foe once more. Meanwhile, Spider-Man checks in on the Mystery Woman and falls for a trap set by the Frightful Four, and is knocked out from behind by the Sandman. When Spider-Man comes to, he finds himself bound up by his foes. Having had a chance to examine the wall crawler, the wizard figures that his tracer weapon transferred Spider-Man's spider sense to the Submariner. Deciding to dispose of Spider-Man, the wizard attaches an anti-gravity disc to the hero and sends him floating up into the sky. But at that very moment, the Submariner is flying towards the hotel, and his newly acquired spider sense detects the danger that Spider-Man is in and saves his life. The pair comes crashing back to the hotel, where a new fight breaks out with the Frightful Four. They easily defeat the wizard, the trapster, and Sandman, but Lyra manages to escape in the confusion. With the danger over, Spider-Man suggests that they seek out Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four to find a way to transfer Spider-Man's spider sense back to the hero. Traveling to the Baxter Building, Mr. Fantastic examines them and finds a means of reversing the power swap. Still unaware that the Mystery Woman at the hotel is really Lyra, Spider-Man goes to visit her again. This time, his spider sense goes wild, warning him of danger. He narrowly stops the woman from stabbing him with a kitchen knife. It's then that Lyra reveals her ruse. But before she can deal with the wall crawler, the Submariner enters the room. Namor quickly knocks out Lyra and takes her back to Atlantis to answer for her crimes. In the aftermath of the battle, Lyra's influence begins to wear off, and Spider-Man feels awful for standing up Deborah Whitman once again, and swings off, hoping that when he sees her next, she can forgive him. This story is continued in The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 216. Geek Fact: Namor recounts how Lyra was responsible for the death of his bride, Lady Dorma. That happened in the Submariner, Volume 1, issue number 37, from May of 1971. He also recalls his last battle with Lyra, where she seemingly perished, in The Defenders, Volume 1, issue number 93, from March of 1981. Bonus Geek Fact: The Thing is disgusted at Namor for making cow eyes at Sue. The Submariner has had an unrequited romantic interest in the Invisible Girl since Fantastic Four, issue number 4, from May of 1962. Advertising Ad Fact.
Ooh boy, Monogram B trucking, the hottest truck going. Monograms Peterbilt 359, 1/16 scale, and 20 inches long.
Oh my God.
It's the largest glue-together plastic model truck kit ever. 6 1/32 scale snap-type trucks that need no glue. 2 snap-type trailers and 2 truck-trailer combo sets. Molded in color with authentic decals. Others try, but nobody matches Monogram's quality or detail. Get yours wherever toys or kits are sold. Woo-wee! Only from Monogram.
And final geek fact. The Lady Dorma was a member of the aristocracy of undersea Atlanteans. As the daughter of Wathan and the granddaughter of WAKEUP, she was born in the Atlantean settlement of THRU, established off the coast of Antarctica, and ruled by her relative, Emperor THRU. She was the distant cousin of Namor, the Submariner, son of Princess Finn, and THRU's grandson and future heir to the Atlantean throne. Although she was initially antagonistic towards her distant cousin, she eventually grew to love him in adulthood. As the wedding day of Dorma and Namor approached, Namor sought out Proteus, an Atlantean sage who would officiate his marriage to Dorma, so that it could be accepted in the eyes of Neptune. Unknown to Namor at the time, there were forces that were conspiring against him. Soon, reports that Attuma was attacking the kingdom prompted him to rush to the scene. Unknown to him, the scientist Ichthon was really a spy for Attuma, and that they were both working in league with the Queen of Lemuria, Lyra, who sought to gain control of the Atlantean throne. During Attuma's attack, Lyra had Dorma captured and taken to her mother's oceanarium off the coast of Florida to be kept prisoner. But with Lyra's plans of stealing the Atlantean throne foiled, she vowed to get revenge against Namor. Luckily, Namor was able to track Lyra back to her mother's oceanarium, thanks to the traitor Ichthon. When Namor arrived, Lyra's forces kept him at bay, and she smashed the water-filled glass cylinder that Dorma was being kept prisoner in. Without the life-giving water, Dorma began to suffocate, while Lyra tried to destroy Namor. While her killer was occupied, Dorma used the last of her strength to knock Lyra away from the controls, allowing Namor to break through the defenses. When Namor arrived, he saw Dorma gasping for life and got to her just in time to hear her final words, which were to tell him that she loved him. Dorma died in Namor's arms, while Lyra managed to escape from the scene. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again Tuesday. This is Catfan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.